Straps, brought to you by Haveston Horology. Hey guys, this is Blake with the Three Hand Hunter channel. Now before I get into the watch strap review of these Haveston straps, I had to show you how they are presented from Alex over at Haveston. He takes a lot of pride in delivering straps to his customers. I've seen that in a lot of videos from a lot of different YouTubers, and I wanted to show you just how beautiful the packaging is and kind of give you my first impressions before we get into the review. So as you can see here, we've got a nice little paper. I'm not going to read that. I'll read that separately, and just take a look at how he packages everything up. But my wife would really appreciate if I did something like this during the holidays, which I don't. And I want to show you what these look like. I mean, what great care he takes in putting together these straps. This is really, really nice. And what you see here, this is a coaster, a little coaster information card. That's pretty cool. I can't wait to tell you a little bit about Alex, his background, and how he designs these straps. And we have a couple of different straps right here, which are so cool. Look at the packaging. Now, I'm going to take these out. I'm going to put them on a couple of my favorite watches. I'm gonna wear them around for the next few days, and I'm gonna tell you what my thoughts on Haveston. This is not a paid review. However, these straps were provided to me for free, so I could show them to you and give you my thoughts. Alex didn't ask me to do anything. He just sent these to me graciously, and I'm going to use them, and I'm gonna tell you all about them. So stand by. We'll see you in a moment. Hey guys, this is Blake with the Three Hand Hunter channel, and today I'm going to show you Haveston straps. Now, I've got a lot to say about this particular strap company because I've been watching them for a long time on YouTube. I've seen a lot of different reviews on these straps, and being ex-military myself, I wanted to try them out because I like the military aesthetics with different watches. As you can see, I have a camo pattern G-Shock, and I love this look, and I love the military style when I'm wearing a wristwatch, which I know a lot of you guys and gals do too, but I'm also prior military, so I wanted to put these to the test. Now, I talked to, and tell you a little bit about Haveston, the company. I was out on their website searching for a strap to match this Citizen Tough, one of my other grab and go watches. I'll talk about that here in a moment. I was searching on the internet, and I was on Haveston's site looking for this, and I reached out to the owner and I said, hey Alex, you know, I was really looking for this particular strap right here, which is the Carrier PVD strap to match this Citizen Tough. And I said, you know, could I see some of your other straps? And he's like, you know, let me ship you out a few so you can take a look at and see for yourself. He sent me two of these general service straps that you see right here, one of them on my G-Shock. And then he sent me this Fortress, 20 millimeter Fortress, which I'll talk about here in a moment. And this is one of his newer styles. And I said, great. So he sent them to me, and I've had them now for a couple weeks, and I've had a chance to wear them. And I'll tell you, they are military approved by me. I don't know if that means anything. It probably doesn't, but I really have enjoyed them. But let me talk a little bit about Alex, because I was a little skeptical. You know, being ex-military myself, I had to ask the question, are you ex-military? He said, no, I'm not. And he told me a little bit about himself. He's originally studied aerospace engineering, and he briefly started restoring wartime typewriters designed to be used inside open cockpits of World War I biplanes, which led him to discover certain iconic watch staples like the Dirty Dozen, Pam watches, the German you know, the pilot watches and a variation of different trench watches. And that led to him really acquiring a 6497 movement, which he started to install various dials, hands, cases, crowns, and to create like historic military timepieces. And he recently completed a 2-year course in watchmaking. So what I realized with Alex is he wasn't ex-military, but he really had an appreciation for military, you know, historical military things like watches and typewriters. And then he went to museums and looked at different aircrafts and really became inspired to put together these different colors that you see here for different straps. And I found that absolutely fascinating, and I could appreciate somebody taking the time to really study history and put together these different color palettes to develop his own watch strap and brand. And the reason why I find that so awesome is because you're not going to see this work anywhere else. Now, there's probably going to be people knocking off his work because it's so great. But if you look at the straps, they're unique. They're one of a kind. The hardware, this is not, and you guys may correct me, and which I always suggest, if you know more information than me, I'm just an enthusiast. I'm not a professional. So please go in the comment section and let me know. These don't look like off the shelf hardware, like, you know, keepers and hardware, and you can see these are very well made. They have the Haveston logo etched into the hardware. I mean, how cool is that? And you can see it on the PVD. Same thing with the you can see it on the strap. It's all the hardware is Haveston's. Now, like I said, maybe this comes off the shelf, perhaps, but the thought of the detail that goes in these straps is amazing. They really are, and you can see how well they're made, and you can see the leather that's around that protects the holes so you don't get the loose ends on the NATO, and on the very end of his straps. I mean, how nice is that presentation for a strap? Now, let me tell you my hesitation with his straps at first. At first, my experience with single pass NATOs is this. Now, this is a Persista PRS 18A. It has a single pass NATO. With the single pass NATO, you can see this material right here is very thick, very durable, not very pliable, similar to what you see here on the general service straps. So when I put this strap on my wrist and I try to work it over the spring bars, you can see the shape it takes going around your wrist. Now, is that the shape of a wrist? No, you have this exposed area right here that sticks out over the top of the spring bars, and then it bows around your wrist, looking very unnatural, and it's, to be honest, pretty uncomfortable. So I was a little hesitant when he sent me these single pass straps. But what you're going to notice with these single pass straps, and by the way, this is like one of my favorite combinations right now with this Citizen Tough. Let me show you the difference here. This is a single pass from Haveston, and this is how it wears on your wrist. Do you see how you get no bows like you do here, but you don't get them here? And this was my original experience with one-piece NATOs, and this is the experience I'm having with Haveston, which, again, you know, the quality floating keepers that you see here. So it, you know, depends on what length that you or what your wrist size is. You're going to be able to tuck back the excess of that strap. And the way it lays across your wrist is awesome. Now, I will say this. With these general service straps that you see here, I am a little hesitant to put, now I have, these are 22 millimeters, so they're not gonna fit on my 20 millimeter Persista anyway. Not on this one, nor on this one, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But if they could, if I had 20 millimeter general service straps, I'm not sure I would wear them with any other watch. But I'll tell you why I love them on this G-Shock. You notice the G-Shock has the custom adapters, and I took the original strap off. I don't like that plastic feel on my wrist. Especially when I'm out in the field, or I'm out camping, or I'm out hiking. But what you'll notice here with the G-Shock, because the lug to lug is so much further with the strap adapter, it wears absolutely perfect on the G-Shock. And again, let me point out some of these little details. The thick keeper here, the blasted, NATO hardware, the thick keeper, which by the way, it is a floating keeper. This is thick, yes. So you have to be mindful of where you're going to put this on, but look at the broad arrow for the E in general service. How cool is that? And then you can see the little Haveston logo at the end. I mean, what other NATO company puts the thought into all the details that you see here? It's pretty amazing. Now, one last thing I wanted to point out to you. Whoops, excuse me. Oh, I grabbed that. I didn't mean to. My hands are like yours, probably wintertime. Hands are a little dry, so you have to excuse that. What you're going to notice with these straps is, and now let me see if I have I do have it. Hold on one second. What you're going to notice with the head of the strap, or with the watches like this, is a Persista PRS 82. It's like my favorite tool watch. I've done a video on this too, if you guys ever want to see a review of that. But because of this addition of this leather here, you can't just push it through. So what you have to do, and yes, this is the cheapest spring bar tool, but probably like my most favorite. It's so easy to manipulate. The Bergeron, I tend to use it over the Bergeron tools too. So what you do is you have to tuck the strap in like this, then put in your spring bar like so. So I'm doing this not as close as I normally do, so just bear with me. But this is the way you have to put on the NATOs with these straps. So you have to do one side, right? Then the other. Bear with me, guys. Thanks for your patience, by the way. But I wanted to physically show you how you have to do this to put on these straps. But once they're on, they're nice and secure. And the thing I love about NATO straps is, and the reason why I use them so frequently, A, because I'm normally in pretty warm weather, but B, it doesn't compromise. Like if one of these, if one of these spring bars get compromised, I don't lose the watch head. And I would never, me personally, I would never go in the water, the ocean, the lakes, the rivers, without having a NATO on. I would never do it in a stainless steel bracelet that can just be broken off with one breakage of one of these little spring bars. I wouldn't do it. But with NATO straps, any day of the week. So now you can see with the Persista, look at how well that matches, by the way, with the faux patina on the dial, and look at how well it matches this this Fortress 20 millimeter Fortress strap. Now you can see with the NATO here, strap that on, and look at how well it's made. Like that. Fold this around, and then you have a floating keeper over here, which I have to pull it around just a bit. 7 1/4 inch wrists. And voila, and you can see how how nicely it wears. And let me move this out of the way. You can see how nicely it wears on the NATO and on this Persista. And notice you don't get that bowing, right? The bowing does not kind of wears like just like a normal normal NATO that you'd wear. So you don't get this look on the on this. And by the way, excuse all this. What is all this junk? Remind me not to use the black background next time in the wintertime. And it's funny. It's like, what is all that? Don't look at it. All right. So anyway, Haveston NATO straps. You know, I do appreciate what Alex does here, and I appreciate the thought. You saw the first impression video when I unpackaged these straps. I mean, the thought and the detail that go into what Alex is doing at Haveston, I love it. And what he does and the quality of the product that you get is superior to other NATO brands out there. So if you're a fan of seatbelt straps, if you're a fan of NATOs, I would highly encourage you to try it out. And then also, if you have a G-Shock and you like to wear them like myself without the original band, this is a great pairing. I love this pairing. Also looks great with the black as well. So this is how I'm wearing these two grab and go watches now all the time. So guys, if you made it this far, let me introduce myself. My name is Blake. I'm a bit of a watchaholic, and if you made it this far, you probably are one too. Check out Haveston and reach out to Alex over at Haveston Straps. I think he makes a great product, and I think it's worth checking out. You guys have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.